Remember, my daughter's almost 13. She's not a baby, okay? I didn't give her up. Or I don't have somebody else raise her. Or I don't have my baby daddy raise her. Go. Like other moms on TikTok.
Oh, double tap, double tap.
Like Brie, I don't have my kid's dad raising my kids. I raise them.
Astra Vino came on live yesterday and said that her oldest daughter is her biggest op. Let me tell you why. As you guys know, ever since her daughter started coming more in the picture and they saw how Astra Vino treated her daughters, Haley ended up building an account with 2 million followers. Yeah, she hit 1 million before her mom did, and unfortunately her mom hasn't been able to keep an account ever since that. Well, yesterday her youngest daughter asked her, like, are you following the oldest daughter on Instagram? She's like, no, I don't follow her on anything. She's my op. Why would I follow her on anything? If you've been following this, you guys have known and seen that Astra Vino has always had this jealousy towards her daughters, especially the oldest one. I wonder, is it because the grandparents look out more for her and not for, Fiona? But hello. Now, also, the oldest daughter does not live with her. She hasn't lived with her for a couple months. And also, Astra Vino said that she's not going to live with them when they go to the mansion. Like, she don't care if the mansion is $1.5 million. She ain't moving in with her mom. But imagine to the point to say that she's your op, because at the end of the day, yeah, she won everybody over because, oh my God, my mom's horrible. But we've seen, I don't judge kids, but we've seen the behavior of those girls too, and they're not perfect, so.
Here we go again, but this time it's bigger, bolder, and honestly more alarming. Ashley Trevino, yes, that Ashley Trevino is back in the headlines, and not for growth, redemption, or healing. If you've been following our deep dives on our chaotic timeline, you already know we've chronicled everything from her viral meltdowns to her parenting controversies that never seem to end. This woman has built an entire personal brand out of dysfunction, drama, and deflection. And just when it looked like she might take a breather, she's back with a vengeance. Ashley has just dropped a bombshell. She launched a full-blown tell-all stories, not a one-off video, not a TikTok rant. She produced a series she claims will be aired internationally. And yes, you guessed it, her children might be part of it again. Let that sink in. After all the internet backlash, after the mountain of criticism for using her daughters as pawns in her online circus, after the emotional toll, the public scrutiny, and the trauma her kids have already endured, she's going to put them back on camera for more views, more buzz, for another round of chaos dressed up as content. And this time, it's packaged, it's produced, it's edited, which only makes it more dangerous. Ashley went live, as she always does, in that chaotic, scatterbrained style that's become her personal brand. It wasn't structured, it wasn't planned, it was all a mess of bouncing topics, ignored questions, and confusing half-thoughts. But somewhere in the madness, she casually dropped a bombshell. Her tell-all series is coming, and apparently, it's airing in the UK and London. Yes, she said both, as if London wasn't already in the UK. Geography clearly isn't part of Ashley's content niche, and honestly, it was just the beginning of what would become one of the most confusing announcements we've seen from her yet.
So my tell-all is actually going to be filmed, it's also going to be shown in the UK and London as well, you guys. It's based out of Ohio, though. So I'm going to do it over, it's going to be video, but they already got the teaser out. Follow me. When I went to the Cinco de Mayo festival, I got nothing but love. Didn't nobody have the heart to say anything ugly to me. And I'm going to tell you that right now. I took so many pictures. That's just how it is. That's just how it is. Y'all do all this on the internet. That's all y'all do. I went to San Antonio Fiesta. I got recorded, yeah. Everywhere I go, I get recorded. But that's it. Y'all are mad weird, bro. Mad weird. MVP Barrington, Courtney. Okay, Meg. Great. Well, you're still going to follow me and some other states.
Then she tossed it in Ohio. Just randomly, she said the show might be based there, or filmed there, or maybe that's just where some of it was edited. She didn't clarify. One moment she was talking about international distribution like this was some Netflix level rollout. The next, she's naming off random states like she's picking them out of a hat. All this while still living in Texas, with no explanation, no announcement of a move, and absolutely no logic holding the pieces together. She claimed a teaser had already been released, although no one could find it, and she didn't show any clips or proof. She said the show was going to be video-based, which is, quite frankly, the bare minimum for a series in 2025.
You're gonna be an hour long or multiple episodes?
I think we're doing multiple.
Nice. That's really good.
Times 2, you guys. Cookie!
Cool. If we get 2 cats, we'll be in the
guys, everything.
And just to make it more confusing, she repeated London, Ohio, and other states like it was some type of rollout strategy. Again, London is not a state, but trying to fact check Ashley in real time is like trying to read a book in a hurricane. Impossible. But behind all the goofy errors and jumbled delivery, there's something much more concerning going on. Because this isn't just about where the show will air or whether her geography checks out. It's about who the show is really going to be about. Ashley calling this a tell-all isn't her setting the record straight in a solo, raw, vulnerable way. It's not a private therapy session aired for public healing. What she's teasing is a drama-packed, multi-part spectacle. A show meant to start controversy, a show designed to spark reactions, rake in views, and, let's be honest, make her money. And if history tells us anything, her kids will absolutely be in the center of it. Whether she directly puts them on camera or indirectly weaves them into dramatic storylines, the end result is the same. Ashley's daughters getting dragged back into the storm again on a bigger stage with even more eyes watching, and as usual, they didn't ask for it. And that, more than any of the ridiculous geography or confusing claims, is the real issue here. It's not the messiness. It's the fact that she's likely putting her kids through another round of emotional exposure, all for clout. Because with Ashley, the storyline isn't just messy, it's dangerous. And that is where it all becomes dangerous, because we've already seen what happens when Ashley puts her children on camera. We are not talking about a sweet family vlog or a one-off holiday clip. No, this was different. This was darker. Let's go back to that painfully uncomfortable moment, the infamous Bomb House podcast episode. Our podcast that felt less like a conversation and more like a public trail of two young girls caught in the crossfires of their mother's chaos. Her daughters, still in the thick of adolescence, still forming their sense of identity, were placed in front of microphones and asked to unpack deeply traumatic and personal experiences, things most adults wouldn't want to say in private, let alone on record for the entire internet to dissect. They were asked how it felt watching their mother date men who were barely older than them, men whose presence blurred the lines between parental figure and peer. They had to talk on camera about the shame, the confusion, the discomfort that came from watching their mom spiral on live streams, often unfiltered, sometimes intoxicated, and always messy.
Honestly, sometimes I feel like it's weird for like girls to go for younger guys, but
You hear that?
it's weird for my mom. She's 36,
She said that loud and motherfucking proud. She said she's 36.
and she gets with people in their
Who are
20s.
19.
In Santos, he actually lied about his age. He said he was 22, but he's actually 19.
You see nothing wrong with that. 18-year-old.
Anybody that, oh my
But Santo knows how it smells.
Camila?
Yeah.
They never did anything. That was just for a song. And
They spoke hesitantly about not having beds, about being neglected, about their needs being ignored so their mother could chase social media relevance. They talked about being kids in a house where content creation was the top priority. Not structure, not stability, not love. Viral moments came fast. Their childhood came last. But here's the thing. You didn't need to hear every word to feel the pain. Their body language told us everything. Their faces betrayed their discomfort. Eyes darting, shoulders stiff, awkward silences that screamed louder than their voices ever could. It felt like we were watching children forced to perform their pain for an audience that didn't deserve their vulnerability. It wasn't empowering. It wasn't healing. It wasn't even honest, because honesty requires choice, and you could tell they didn't feel like they had one. It was exploitation, packaged and posted for clicks. And now, Ashley wants to do it again, but this time, she's going bigger. Not just another podcast appearance, a whole series. Professionally shot, carefully edited, strategically marketed, but with the same harmful dynamic at the core. Her daughters once again being positioned as supporting characters in their mom's redemption arc, revealing the same pain, reopening old wounds, not in private, not with therapy, but on a public stage for entertainment. This isn't just poor judgment, it's emotional recklessness, because what Ashley calls telling her story may very well be traumatizing her daughters, turning their pain into plot point, their past into profit. And it's not just concerning, it's terrifying, because the last time we saw children crack under the weight of what they were forced to carry, and if she pushes them into this again with even more pressure, more cameras, more scripted drama, the next time may not just break hearts, it could break them. Let's ask the obvious question. What is left to tell? Ashley has live streamed every inch of her reality. We are not talking highlights. We are talking raw, chaotic, unfiltered, and often downright shocking slices of her life. The breakup, the meltdowns, the screaming matches, the sub stories, the half-baked apologies, the sudden flexes, the very public crashes. She's paraded her exes across the screen, aired out private details like dirty laundry, and done it all in front of thousands, sometimes while intoxicated. We've witnessed her late-night meltdowns.
I hope that your kids are enough of a reason for maybe to dial back a bit or just not go live and understand that, bro, like, I hope this doesn't affect them later, you know? I don't know. I think that that's why people would call you an unfit mother. I think there is basis as to why someone would call you an unfit mother. Do you see why?
But that's the thing. Also, people don't realize they've only came into my life
Very recently.
Yes.
Right.
So they don't know how it was to raise my kids.
But even in that small, short of time, they formulated such a massive opinion. How does that not hurt your feelings?
It doesn't get to me.
Rants so aggressive you can almost feel the tension through the screen. She's clashed with friends, feuded with fellow influencers, and burned bridges in real time while viewers watched like it was some TikTok soap opera. We've seen her flash cash in designer bags, flexing her luxurious Louis Vuitton, her BMW, her shopping hauls, her temporary wins, but we've also seen the spirals, the moments when the filters came off and what remained was exhaustion, depression, and recklessness. They were the jail-barred boyfriends she romanticized, the barely legal flings like Santos that raised more eyebrows than hearts, the live streams where she said things that couldn't be unsaid, the stage makeups, the rehearsed breakdowns, the "I am leaving social media" declarations followed by "Hey, y'all, I'm back" within 48 hours. We've seen her demand people pull up in parking lots like she's auditioning for a reality show no one asked for. We've watched her take shots, both at enemies and out of shot glasses. We've seen her spiral, then post through it, laugh through it, monetize it. We've seen moments so intimate, so raw, so inappropriate that they should have never been recorded, let alone posted. Ashley hasn't just overshared, she's weaponized oversharing as content strategy. So what could possibly be left to tell? At this point, only one thing hasn't been fully exploited: her children. And that's what makes this the next chapter so dangerous. So what's left? Honestly, just her children, because the attention is fading. The scandals are old, the views aren't hitting the same. The only thing she hasn't completely squeezed out for clout are her kids, and it looks like that's what she's gearing up for. Let's rewind to one of her worst scandals, the one that got her account banned. She said another creator's deceased father deserved to be unalived. A horrifying, cruel comment made worse when her then boyfriend Isaiah doubled down on it. But the backlash, it didn't stop with Ashley. Her daughter Hailey ended up taking the hits too. Strangers flooded her TikTok account telling her she also deserved to lose her dad. Let that sink in. Her father had just passed away the year before, and now she was being targeted online because of her mother's vile online behavior. That's not content, that's not drama, that's trauma. And it's happening again and again. Even her fallout with her ex-friend Jaffa ended up hurting the girls. Jaffa had helped them, paid for trips, bought them bets, tried to get them normalcy. When the friendship blew up, so did the girls' sense of stability. Every mess Ashley makes her kids end up covered in it. Every feud, every clapback, every so-called business move, the children are always in the blast radius. And now she wants to make a series based on her life. The same life that's been live streamed, stitched, commented on, and dissected 100 times over. The same life that's caused emotional will splash for everyone involved, especially her daughters. The same life where chaos is content and consequences are just another talking point. Let's be real. We've seen this story before. The endless views, the explosive relationships, The reckless parenting, the tears followed by March drops, and through it all, her daughters have been there. Not because they chose to be, because Ashley made sure they were. She claims this series will be raw, honest, the real story. But we already know what that means in Ashley's world. Carefully curated chaos, drama dressed up as healing, and just enough emotional manipulation to pull views while avoiding accountability. We've watched this movie on repeat. And the spoiler alert, the ending never changes. Her daughters are always left cleaning up the emotional mess she made. They are the ones asked to forgive in public, to reveal their pain in front of strangers, to shift quietly while their mother profits off their discomfort.
Ash Trevino is alleging she has a series or documentary coming out about her life, and it's going to be airing in Ohio and the UK and quote-unquote other states. Truly don't know what they'll talk about. I don't know if this is the Surviving the Inmate Hopper documentary or what this is. I don't know if it's that show Love After Lockup, or I don't know what this is, because she's very, very much not interesting, and I don't know what she's going to be spilling. We already know everything about her because every time she drinks, she spills her life story.
This isn't transparency, this is repetition. A calculated pattern where Ashley cycles through roles: the misunderstood mother, the victim of online hate, the misunderstood truth teller, and in each cycle, her kids are dragged in, spun around, and spit out. First as shields, then as props, and now, once again, as the emotional centerpiece of a narrative that isn't theirs. They've already broken down on camera. They've already been forced to reveal things no child should have to explain to the internet. And now, this new series threatens to rip open old wounds again, to push them deeper into a spotlight they never asked for. Ashley says this is about setting the record straight. But whose record? Hers? Or the ones she's rewriting at her children's expense? And more importantly, what's the price? Because the cost of her content has always been paid by the people closest to her, and this time it might be too high. After her account was banned, and let's not forget, it was banned for crossing serious lines, Ashley came back with promises, big ones. She told her followers she was walking away from the chaos, that she was done with drama, that she was focusing on building a business, something stable, something real. She spoke like someone who had finally seen the consequences of her actions and wanted to turn things around. And for a moment, people had dared to believe her. There was skepticism, of course. There always is with Ashley. But there was also a sliver of hope. Maybe, just maybe, this was the wake-up call she needed. Maybe she would realize the internet doesn't need to be her therapy room. Maybe she would step back from the ring light and step up as a parent. Maybe she would give her kids the quiet, stable life they deserve. But that didn't last long. Instead, we're here again. Another show, another scheme, another production where Ashley is the star and her daughters are likely to be pulled in as unwilling co-stars. It's a new platform, sure, but it's the same old playbook. This is an ad. It's another pivot back into performance, back into exploiting trauma for attention, back into monetizing motherhood at her children's expense. Ashley doesn't need a tell-all. She needs real help. She needs therapy, not views, healing, not hashtags, boundaries, not behind-the-scenes footage. What she truly needs is to stop making her kids accessories to her downfall and start making them the priority they should have always been. Because if she puts them through another round of public exposure, another emotionally loaded display dressed up as transparency, it could leave scars that last for life. Childhood doesn't come with reruns, and her daughters won't get a second shot at growing up. The world might forget what she said in the live stream or cut from a scene, but they will remember, they will carry it, and that is a cost no amount of clout is worth. Ashley, if you're listening, this is your moment. Not a spotlight moment, not a comeback arch, a real moment, a chance to pause the chaos, to mute the cameras and actually do what's right for once. This isn't the time to pitch a new angle. This isn't your redemption season. It's a time to reflect deeply, honestly. Away from an audience, you don't need a director, a teaser, or a trailer. You need stillness, silence, accountability. And so do your daughters. They need peace, not production meetings. They need privacy, not punchlines. They need a mother who sees them as children, not content. Let them have a life that isn't recorded, clipped, or shared. Let them be free from the weight of your next viral moment. Let them be whole, off cameras, without the pressure of playing supporting roles in your never-ending digital drama. They deserve school over story. Therapy, not teasers. Laughter that isn't filmed. Hags that aren't monetized, they deserve what every child should have, a safe place to grow, far from the demands of internet fame. And to everyone watching, what do you think? Has Ashley finally reached the age of the stage, or will she, like always, choose the screen over her children's well-being? Drop your thoughts in the comments, like and subscribe, because we are not just watching the content, we are watching the consequences.